You know, there's something happening on Wall Street right now. It's a massive shift, and it's not being driven by the usual suspects. To really get what's going on, you only need to know two things. One person and one absolutely mind-boggling number.
$1.5 billion. I mean, that is a huge amount of money for any hedge fund to raise, especially a brand new one. But the really wild part? It's who raised it. And that's the real question, isn't it? We're not talking about some Wall Street veteran with decades of experience. We're talking about a 23-year-old who, not too long ago, was a researcher inside one of the world's most advanced AI labs. So, how on earth did he pull this off?
Okay, so let's meet the guy behind all this. His name is Leopold Aschenbrenner, and the name of his fund, Situational Awareness, well, it isn't just some catchy phrase, it's his entire thesis. It's a claim that he, and a very small handful of other people, see something that the rest of us are missing. And honestly, looking at his results, that claim is getting harder and harder to ignore.
I mean, just look at these numbers. It's not even close. The S&P 500 did great, up a solid 6%. Other tech hedge funds, they averaged about 7%. But Leopold's fund, a staggering 47% return. And get this, that's after fees. A number like that just makes the entire financial world slam on the brakes and ask, okay, what does this kid know that we don't?
So how is he doing it? To get the performance, you have to get the philosophy. And it really all boils down to this one core idea: situational awareness. This is a quote from a massive 165-page manifesto Leopold actually published. His argument is actually pretty simple, but it's also incredibly bold. He says the true scale of what's happening with AI is only understood by a tiny group of insiders, mostly people in San Francisco working in the AI labs. And he claims that basically everyone else is suffering from a kind of willful blindness, creating this huge information gap and a massive opportunity.
And this belief translates directly into how he invests. It's a pretty straightforward, two-pronged attack. First, he's buying up all the picks and shovels for the AI gold rush. Think semiconductors, infrastructure, power companies. But then, and this is just as important, he's shorting companies he thinks will be disrupted by AI. He's betting against them.
But of course, anytime you see returns like this, the alarm bells start ringing. You have to ask, is this real insight, or are we just watching the latest tech bubble inflate, fueled by pure hype and getting ready to pop?
It's pretty wild to think about how much the narrative has changed in just 1 year. Last summer, you had Goldman Sachs putting out reports warning about too much spend, too little benefit in AI. Now, a year later, a 23-year-old who made the exact opposite bet isn't just doing well, he's absolutely crushing it. It's got to be a bit of a humbling moment for the old guard on Wall Street.
And this is where you get the classic skeptic's take. Antonio Garcia Martinez lays it out perfectly here. He's saying, hey, we've seen this movie before. Web 2.0, crypto. A bunch of VC money comes in, subsidizes the cost to make something seem more popular than it is, and creates this unsustainable growth. It's a really compelling argument. But does it actually fit what's happening with AI right now?
And that brings us to the other side of the coin, the powerful counter-argument that, you know what, maybe this time is different. That comparing AI to past bubbles is just a totally wrong way to look at it.
The big difference they point to is the demand. Think about it. In past bubbles, like with Uber, VC money paid for your cheap rides to basically create a habit, to create a market. With AI, it feels like the complete opposite is happening. The market is screaming for this stuff, pulling the technology forward with what seems like an endless appetite.
And that's the absolute key to the whole "this time it's different" argument. It's not about people using AI because there's some kind of discount. It's that they see how valuable it is, and they just want more and more of it. It's a market pull, not a technology push.
And this isn't just a feeling, right? The data is pretty staggering. Take a look at Google. The number of tokens, which are just the basic bits of data AI models process, jumped by 104% in just 2 months. That isn't hype. That's a real-world explosion in usage.
Okay, so let's say it's not a bubble. What does that actually mean for the rest of us? Because this goes way beyond just who's mocking money on Wall Street. We're talking about a massive, fundamental shakeup of the whole economy.
And what's really fascinating here is who is considered at risk. This list from Bank of America isn't full of old, dusty industrial companies. These are successful, dominant tech companies from the last decade. A web design platform, a giant stock photo site, a software powerhouse. Their whole way of doing business is suddenly looking vulnerable.
And if you want a real-world example, just look at what happened to Gartner, the big research firm. They cut their revenue forecast, and their stock dropped 30% in a single week. That's their biggest drop ever. The market is already starting to react to this disruption, with Morgan Stanley saying it's just adding fuel to the AI disruption case.
And I mean, listen to the words investors are using. Annihilated, wiped out. They don't see this as some slow, gentle change. The view is that this is going to be a brutal winner-take-all shift where whole industries could basically become obsolete almost overnight.
You know, some folks are arguing this isn't just about technology. It's about who's in charge. This quote from an account called Young Macro on X kind of sums it up. The idea is that the people who are best prepared for this new world aren't the ones who have been doing this for 30 years. It's the younger, digitally native generation that just gets it intuitively. It's a transfer of power.
So at the end of the day, that's the choice we're looking at. Is this whole thing just another crazy, unsustainable bubble pumped up with hype? Or is this the start of a massive economic shift being led by a small group of people who truly have situational awareness? The answer is going to do more than just make a few people rich. It's probably going to define the next decade for all of us.